Hey guys, you've heard some weird and wonderful advice about life, especially when things seem to be going a little downhill. But which of these tips and tricks are worth investing the time in and will actually reap some results? Let's explore some of them, shall we? Welcome to Visionspike, a channel where motivated people come to get more inspired. If you're not subscribed yet, you're missing out. Number 1. The Pareto Principle. The Pareto Principle states that in most instances, roughly 80% of the effects come from 20% of the effort. It's also known as the 80-20th rule. In other words, you might notice that 80% of your income comes from 20% of your clients, or the first 20% of effort building a website was spent on the first 80%, and the last 20% of completing a task often takes 80% of the time. However, whatever the rule proposes, is the first 20% which yields 80% of the result is generally enough to get most jobs done decently enough to pass the test. Like the way only mastering 20% of a musical instrument, like a guitar, still means you can play about 80% of the songs in some recognizable way. And unless you're planning on becoming a master composer, that level of skill is more than enough for most. It's the age-old principle of easy to learn, hard to master. The Pareto Principle reminds us that just getting started is half the battle won. Number 2. The 5-second rule. And no, we're not talking about the common belief that if you pick something up off the floor within 5 seconds of dropping it, it's still safe to eat. The science is still out on that one. This is the 5-second rule that explains human motivation. This one was popularized by Mel Robbins, a motivation coach and a generally dynamite lady. As Robbins explains it, if you have an instinct to act on a goal, you must physically move within 5 seconds or your brain will kill it. So, when you feel your brain remind you, you need to work on your business plan, get to your desk before your brain talks you into another Netflix binge. Use the 5-second rule to remind yourself to go with your instinct, and not to listen to your brain. Next time you get that desire to act on a goal or a commitment, count down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Do not pass go, do not collect $200, just take action. Number 3. Goodhart's Law. The law proposes that, when a measure becomes a target, it ceases to be a good measure. In other words, if you only use one measure like the money in your bank account as a measure of success, then you might be compromising on quality, and in turn, your business long-term growth success. Instead, if you aim to make a great product or service that fulfills a need, then you'll measure it by how good your product is and how well it's received. The financial gain will naturally come from this type of business, like great content creators will grow a following and ultimately earn from their efforts. Those who are just after growing numbers will quickly crash and burn in the rubbish pile of bad content out there. Number 4. Murphy's Law. We all love to hate old Murphy. Great to have someone to blame, but he's proven so right so much of the time. The law basically implies that everything that can go wrong, will go wrong. So how is this useful to us? Well, if you put a positive spin on Murphy's Law, you'll find it makes you a far more intuitive and productive person. Being able to consider what could go wrong, what the shortfalls are, and what the weak points could be, will allow you to plan to resolve them before they turn into disaster. In a business sense, this gives you an advantage, foresight, and opportunity to plan contingency into your actions. Similar to the way we drive slower on a rainy day, knowing the risks are higher in those conditions, and if you are going to have an accident, it's probably more likely to be when the weather was bad. It isn't necessarily a negative outlook on life as much as a cautious one. Number 5. Parkinson's Law. Parkinson's Law explains the strange phenomenon that work usually takes the exact amount of time assigned to it. In other words, it explains our human nature to stretch out or expand our workload to suit the time frame given, rather than to work as quickly as possible and have time left over. Ever notice that however long you have to make dinner is exactly how long it takes? Even if one time it took 30 minutes to make, if you have 2 hours to spare, you can bet your bottom dollar the meal will take 2 hours to make. In business we see this with deadlines and budgets. Isn't it funny that no matter how tight or how excessive the time is you are assigned, for the most part, that is exactly how long it takes you to finish the work. In the same way, ever notice how most people's salary runs out before payday, even if they just got an increase? The joy of this is you don't need to stress about only having an hour to throw together a presentation. When it usually takes you a whole day, the pressure deadline will most likely push your brain into overdrive, and have you creating the slideshow of your CEO's dreams. Number 6. The Law of Attraction. Nope, This isn't about sitting around thinking about being a millionaire and expecting the money to pour in, but it is all about realizing that positivity attracts positivity, and success attracts success. And on the converse, laziness attracts, well, nothing, except maybe a bad smell. The law of attraction is that when we begin an action towards something, that thing also moves closer toward us. In other words, when you begin saving toward a house, you open up an avenue to wealth creation. Once you've opened your mind to saving with a project in mind, you'll be looking for ways to put more money into that fund. You'll probably attract some kind of side hustle, sign a big deal at work, or boost your business sales. You might say this is the power of positive thinking, but it's probably better described as the power of big thinking. You'll suddenly see opportunities and be filled with more energy than before, and this will lead to positive growth towards your goal. Number 7. Inspired action. Nike got it right with their slogan, "Just do it." You know, guys, if you want to go out and achieve anything, just do it. You're not going to become a master chef if you're ordering takeout every night. You won't inspire creativity for a hair salon if you're scrolling Facebook all day. As success coach Zig Ziglar has claimed, do it, and then you'll feel motivated to do it. Make a conscious decision to take the first step, and it's true that often the first step is the scariest, but each step gets easier and easier. You are responsible for your own success. And if you've got a goal in mind that leaves you feeling passionate, excited, inspired, and motivated, you're halfway there already. In order to take action, you need inspiration. You may think that manifestation is enough, but it isn't. Sure, your vibrations must match your goal, but the goal isn't going to magically appear. Both are required to see the rewards. So guys, start working on both and it won't be long before your dreams become a reality. Number 8. The rule of balance. We are all striving for that perfect balance, but how does balance work? If we are giving our job 70% of our time, then our family, friends, pets, and personal life are only getting 30%. Mark Zuckerberg put it perfectly. He said you can have everything, just not all at the same time. Bill Gates used to sleep in his office 5 days a week, and was single way into his 30s. Brad Pitt suffers from depression and struggles to do anything outside with his children because he's too famous. Basically, there are sacrifices in every decision. So what can we do to strike the balance? Enjoy what you're doing at the moment. If you've decided to be a stay-at-home mom, cancel the FOMO, and be the best stay-at-home mom you can be. If you've opted to head back to the office again, ditch the FOMO, and be the best you can at your job. By doing this, you focus on the present, and that will take you far in whatever decision you've made. Number 9. The principle of momentum. To gain momentum, we keep moving forward. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "If you can't fly, run; if you can't run, walk; if you can't walk, crawl, but by all means, keep moving." Goal setting is great, but you're not going to achieve them by just setting them. Buying the ingredients of a cake isn't going to make you a cake, now is it? A goal achiever is what you need to be, and the principle of momentum implies you keep going. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Bizarre saying, but a true sentiment. Write out your goals, set a date to achieve them, and then move on to the next one. Before you know it, you're so highly motivated every goal you set for yourself you're achieving. If your goal is to quash your debt earlier, and you keep putting away an additional $100 a month, you will soon see the difference in your debt or mortgage. You'll see that instead of owing 20 years of house payments, you're down to 19 and a half, and you're constantly gaining momentum to save more and pay it off faster. Number 10. No strain, no gain. Be prepared to work hard to achieve your goals. You won't get anything from doing nothing. If you put a little effort in, you'll get a little out. If you put a lot of effort in, you'll get a lot out. It's that simple. But you can find some ways to work smarter by watching our video, Working Hard versus Working Smart. It'll help you enormously in saving time and focusing your energy on the important stuff. And remember what Kevin Hart said, everybody wants to be famous, but nobody wants to do the work. I live by that. You grind hard so you can play hard. At the end of the day, you put all the work in and eventually it'll pay off. It could be a year, it could be 30 years, eventually your hard work will pay off. So guys, what life tip or hint have you received that you can share with us? We'd love to hear what's inspired you to keep you going through the years. Tell us in the comments. And of course, for sticking with us until the end, here's your bonus. Alright, how can you put some of these into practice in your day-to-day living? Take a simple activity like cleaning your house. With Pareto, you could do 20 of the cleaning, which would make up an 80 difference in the cleanliness of your home. Make the beds, do the dishes, and sweep the floors, and you'll see a noticeable difference. Then use your 5-second rule. If you've got an idea to do something, count down from 5, and start right away, and then use the Parkinson's rule to give yourself 30 minutes to complete the task. You'll be amazed at what you're able to achieve. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe our channel so you never miss another video. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question on our website. Have a nice day.